Morning, everybody. It's Monday, July 28th. Welcome to the Inside Edge. Yesterday was 100 days before the general election, before New Jersey elects its next governor. And I have just a little bit of advice to the candidates objectively. Don't fall down. In 1961, after 8 years of Democratic Governor Bob Minor, Jersey was expected to elect a Republican governor. I mean, after all, JFK had just gotten to the White House. That's how it was supposed to be. One party wins the White House, another party wins the governorship. And political parties weren't supposed to win three gubernatorial elections in a row. Republicans found a dream candidate, Jim Mitchell, a mostly private sector guy from Elizabeth who had been FDR's pick to help New Jersey recover from the Great Depression. He went to Washington to help the Army deal with labor unions as they mobilized for World War II. Then he served as Dwight Eisenhower's Secretary of Labor. Jim Mitchell was so highly regarded that Richard Nixon had him on his short list for vice president in 1960. And back in a time when Democratic county chairs literally gathered in smoke-filled rooms to agree upon a candidate, the likely nominee was Attorney General Grover Richmond. But Richmond had a mild heart attack in January. He needed to take a few months off to rest, and Democrats needed to find a new nominee. So when the bosses met for about 45 minutes in February 1961, there were about a dozen names discussed. It seems like the first choice was Harrison Williams, who had been in the U.S. Senate just 2 years. He declined. So did Frank Thompson, a congressman from Trenton. So, it's noteworthy that the two Abscam guys might have been governor. The compromise candidate turned out to be a pretty good pick. It was Dick Hughes, a Superior Court judge and former Mercer County Democratic chairman who had run for office. It was just once before. It was 23 years earlier, and he lost a run for Congress. Back in those days, primaries were in April. On June 5th, Jim Mitchell was at the Cherry Hill Inn for a fundraiser headlined by the governor of New York, Nelson Rockefeller. After the fundraiser, the two met for a late dinner, and sometime around 1:30 in the morning, Mitchell was in his hotel suite with some of his advisors. He got up to go to the bathroom, and he fell. And he was taken to Cooper Hospital for X-rays. They showed that he'd broken his leg in two places. He underwent surgery. Doctors put a plate in his leg. They gave him a cast that went from his hip to his toe. And Mitchell missed most of the summer. He made relatively few campaign appearances. He completed the campaign on crutches. And back in the day when television commercials had not really caught on, there was surely no social media, and there was a large contingent of reporters who covered candidate events. Retail campaigning had an outsized importance, and as it turns out, Dick Hughes was a gifted campaigner, and with Mitchell not there, Hughes won the governorship by about 35,000 votes statewide. The margin was about 1.5 percentage points. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow.